All right. We are now in the post-holiday phase, everybody. Glorious day of rest and relaxation. We did stream yesterday. We streamed some Skyrim. And then we watched the final Die Hard movie, which is not a good movie. And then we went to bed at like 7:30 and then woke up at 11:30 because we couldn't sleep. And it was pouring down rain, and I had to go outside in the pouring down rain and help cats navigate a flooded catio and shovel mud and bring cats inside and fun stuff. And then I was up until about 4 o'clock in the morning. And then I went back to bed. And I woke up again at 6:45 when Chris flipped on the lights to take the trash out. And I went, well, shit, I'm going to wake up and do a stream. So it is now 7:12. I've been up for about 30 minutes. I've not had any coffee yet, so. Alright, we're going to do some more DOS 2 today. Do, 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 do. Okay, when last we played, we had just got out of the fort, but I don't want to leave the fort quite yet. I think I have some more quests to turn in. Let me check the journal. I don't know where that one is. That's something on the mainland. So as far as I'm aware, there's probably a main... Oh, I need to level up. If you have disposable income and the game looks like fun, there's your answer. Is a game worth trying out? If you have the money and it looks like fun. Let's see here. I'll go ahead and just crank it up to 18 for now. Go another Lyric Hydro. Okay, that should be that. Let's do a hard save here. Alright. And then we're going to go back in. Merry Day After Christmas, exactly. Yeah, there's a huge sale going on both of these games. I think on Steam. I owned these from years before. I bought them back in like 2019, I think. I bought the first two, the original Sin 1 and 2. Am I playing this because of the Game Awards trailer for Divinity? Sure. Why not? No, but yes. It's the holidays. I have time to dip my toes into things, and if it's something I haven't played before, or it's something where I might want to take advantage of all of the noise around something, then I will definitely go play that thing. So as an example, Skyrim came out on the Switch 2, huge buzz around Skyrim 2. I hadn't played, not Skyrim 2, but Skyrim in general came out on the Switch too. I hadn't really played Skyrim before, briefly at launch, but haven't really ever played it. So I was like, perfect time for me to jump on the bandwagon and get a bunch of traffic around the videos and everything else. Divinity goes wild. Original Sin starts doing huge numbers on Steam, bigger than Baldur's Gate 3 at the moment on Steam. And I was like, why not? I've never played the game before other than a brief little dip my toes in back in 2019. Now's the perfect time. Am I going to do a complete playthrough of this? That depends on schedule because I have a huge platform of, not platform, a huge library of new releases starting in February. So whatever I get done in the month of January is usually, that's my cutoff point. Because once February hits, we're in the new release cycle for the year, and I focus on primarily new releases on my channel. So for those of you who are new, this is the day job. 2025, as an example, we played over 30 new games in 2025 from start to finish. Many sponsored, many on keys from companies. We're going to be playing more games in 2026. Something like this is I squeeze in around the holidays, and there was definitely a little bit of taking advantage of the weather, because when the sun is high in the sky, you got to make hay while the sun shines. And now is the perfect time to be playing Divinity Original Sin 2 if your intention is to create content around it and stream it, because there are a shitload of eyeballs watching it right now. So yes and no. Not specifically because of the Divinity trailer, but partially yes because of the Divinity trailer. There is something in that room. Oh, those are the dogs. What did I... Oh, there was a main door. It's discounted on all platforms. You got it for 15 bucks on the PlayStation. Oh, that's right, because it just did the enhanced edition on all the consoles. I forgot about that. So there's more than just the Divinity trailer going on right now for Original Sin 1 and 2. They just also launched the PlayStation and Xbox enhanced editions. So yeah, there's lots of noise around these games right now. Is this out to the courtyard? Fuck it.
Well out of sight of the Magisters.
Alright, I don't really see any reason I need to be out here. Oh shit, was that a way down from the card table? I'm gonna have to remember that next time I play. No, that was not. That's a different... Okay, never mind. Burlek says, yeah, if you own it on the PS4 or Xbox, the updated version is free to download. Perfect. There's an upper floor. Maybe this is what I was looking for. Oh, we're missing a voiceover there. Oh, hang on. We got a Paladin Cork.
Subdue them, and make sure Cork doesn't leave.
So Cork was protesting something. I don't know what. Well, this will be fun. Alright. Let's out the door a little bit. Hello, my dear. Why don't you come out here and whack a pally? Never played a Divinity. This has never played a Divinity, any of them. I've never played any of the original games, like the ones that came before. I've only ever played Original Sin 1 and this one, but I never did full playthroughs. I tapped into them briefly back in 2019. I don't compare games to other games, so you're asking the wrong person when you ask a question like, how does this compare to Baldur's Gate 3? It doesn't. It's not Baldur's Gate 3. It's not even the same rule set. It's not the same world. Completely different game. Don't compare games to each other. You're robbing yourself of the joy of video games if you do that. Play games. Have fun. Let them all be their own thing. Comparison is the thief of joy. No, this is horrible, Ricky. That's why I'm playing it. I love to be miserable, so I'm streaming something that I absolutely hate. Didn't you get the memo? Okay, he's down. Well, we will all be waiting 4 years or so because this game won't be out for quite some time. The next one. They did say they're trying to have early access by the end of next year. So we know nothing about the next one. We don't know if it's a continuation. It's not a remake. But we also don't know because this game has nothing to do with Divinity Original Sin 1. It's set hundreds of years later. So I would assume the new Divinity game is also going to be set in a different time period so that it has nothing to do with this. It's just an ongoing game in that world. No, what are you doing? What are you doing? Dumbass! I was thinking that it was going to attack the barrel, and instead it ran and picked up the barrel. Oh my god, that's annoying. I'll have to keep that in mind for the next time I do that. That the A button does not attack objects. Instead, it picks them up. And I was like, let's grab this and waste 2 attack rounds. don't like her. Okay, first things first. I gotta go into my inventory and drop that stupid barrel. I gotta find it first. Ah! I can't throw it because I'm encumbered. You fucker. Alright. Drop! Jesus. Where is he running off to? Oh, there was another guy back there I didn't see. He'll be fine. Let's go get this guy. Oh, you're gonna go for the high ground. Maybe not. Can I reach you? No. Can I? Oh, you're just out of reach. I don't know if I can get by you without triggering an attack of opportunity. Oh, I'm crippled. I can't move anyway. Okay. I love that staff. It blinds them as well. Alright, we need to take care of that guy. Nope, can't. Get up there, Cork. Too far, I just need to step a little bit down the steps, I think. Oh, he's still out of range. Well, poodoo. I'm electrified myself. As long as he doesn't run and bring more. I'm not getting to him, so we're just gonna cancel turn. I don't think there's a way for me to... Yeah, my path's gonna be interrupted the whole time. hang on. Hit the wrong thing. There we go. Target is too far. I'm not gonna have line of sight anyway, probably. Yeah, target is too far and line of sight issues. There we go. Bye-bye. Alright, now I want to talk to Cork.
These magisters are madmen. Are you alright?
I am alright. I need to get caught up on chat. Let's see here. Uncle says, love it when you play Skyrim. We'll be playing some more over the course of January. Here pretty soon, I'm going to have to pick between DOS 2 or Skyrim and focus on one of them so that I can at least get one of them beat in the early weeks of January. So I'm not making any decisions right now because we're still in the holidays and I'm still very much on break. There will not be, more than likely, I could change my mind, but my plan is to not do any streams Saturdays and Sundays. And I'm only streaming like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. All of next week on top of this week because I'm just taking some time off. But once we get to January 5th and we're in the new year, we'll be back to daily streams. And I'll make a decision. We'll probably do a vote on YouTube, so stay tuned for that. There'll be a vote that goes up. We'll see what the community wants me to focus on first. DOS 2 or Skyrim. Somebody says, I think you're Matt Dinniman, the author. I am an author. I'm not Matt Dinniman, the author, but I am T.W. Anderson, the author. There's a link somewhere to my Amazon page. You can go pick up some of my books. I've got fantasy, science fiction, anthologies. Legend of Starfield says, I love when your live pops up because you're always spouting wisdom. There you go. It's a good reason to continue to tune in. We're live on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok as always. Vertical format on TikTok, horizontal format everywhere else. The main shit goes down on YouTube, so get over there and follow along. All the game guides, the VODs, the playlists, the discussions, the movie reviews, the TV show reviews. We just finished watching Pluribus this morning. I'll get my reviews out in the last 2 episodes. And then we're going to be watching, I believe the schedule today is Zephyr and Chris and I are going to watch the newest 3 episodes of Stranger Things, and we'll have a review on that out shortly on YouTube. I'm playing on the PC with an Xbox controller. What's up, John Coons? I did have a great day. Thank you very much. Or I am going to have a great day. Thank you. Do I like the Fallout series? Andy, you should seriously go check out my YouTube channel. Like, the video that went out this morning is literally Fallout 76 in 2026. I play a lot of Bethesda games in general. I love Bethesda as a company. I play all their games. I play all the BioWare games. We play lots of games. I love Bethesda. If I had to pick one, what would your favorite RPG be? I don't. That's like asking someone to pick their favorite child. It's never going to happen. Why no custom character, asks Jumbo Kong over on Twitch? Because I don't want to. I want to create my own character and go through with my character and have the origin characters as my companions. This game does have music. Yep. Outer Worlds 2 has some of the best music of the year up there with South of Midnight. Because they're original tracks with lyrics that are specific to the world. So South of Midnight did story songs that went along with the quests and told the story of the zone you were in as you were doing the quests, which is fucking brilliant. And then Outer Worlds 2 had propaganda songs for all the different factions, which is hilarious. I know, JK, right? Red, do you like video games? I mean, you're streaming video games, but do you actually like them? Is this fun? Are you having fun? Is it worth it? Should I play it? That's right, JK. Mr. Obvious, Mr. Obvious. I am alright, Paladin Cork. You don't look like a prisoner. Who are you?
I'm a paladin, of course. My, you must have been here a long time if you don't recall what the Divine Order's finest look like.
He pauses a moment to wipe a thick mixture of sweat and blood from his brow before continuing.
I still can't believe they had the gall to attack me. It's high treason to go after a paladin like that. We're Divine Order. Our superiors will be very interested to hear it.
If it took you this long to figure out the Magisters are bad news, you must be frightfully naive.
I wouldn't be so certain of that. They've got most folks on the mainland properly fooled. I never would have believed what goes on here until I saw it with my own eyes. But we've stood about talking
Man,
long enough.
Outer Worlds 2,
This
that's
place
going to
is
be...
no
So I
roadside
ordered the big
Certain
Ultimate
death
Edition.
if we keep lingering.
So I have the DLCs pre-ordered when they're coming up. I don't know what the schedule is for the DLCs, but I cannot wait to circle back around and do another Outer Worlds 2 playthrough. Whenever the first DLC comes out, I'm going to hopefully be in a position where I can just do a full playthrough all the way over again and do the DLC along with the playthrough. Unless it's if it's a post main story DLC, then I could just pick up my main character where I left off. But I'm hoping it's a mid-game DLC, because then I have an excuse to do another playthrough of Outer Worlds 2. Alright, where's he gonna go?
First things first, I need to get the lay of the land inside Fort Joy. I was sent here to make an official report on what exactly goes on here, and I don't intend to run away now. After that, though, and without the Magister's help, there's nowhere to go but the Hollow Marshes. They say they're haunted, but I don't believe in bogeymen.
That means nothing to me, so that's probably a location we're gonna find.
I was once told there's an old harbor on the far side of the island.
That's a tip.
Where there's a harbor, there may be a boat.
Well, I also found a boat downstairs, too. Oh, I wonder if the boat that we found downstairs takes you to the harbor.
I must be off, and so should you.
Because I found another way
Best
out
of
of
luck
here
to
through
you.
that tunnel.
You deserve better than this place.
Yes, I have played pretty much every MMORPG that's ever been released. I always tell people, whenever they ask, just like Jambo did over on Twitch, what's my favorite and why? Lord of the Rings Online, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. It's dated now, but Lord of the Rings Online provides me with a power fantasy that I can't get anywhere else, which is the ability to run around and explore Middle-earth. And that, to me, is better than any mechanics. It's better than any gameplay. It's not fully voiced, and I don't give a fuck because it's just a damn good game. So yeah, Lord of the Rings Online, hands down. Second to that would be Star Wars The Old Republic, not Star Wars Galaxies. Sorry. Star Wars Galaxies was way too limited in the scope of what it had available. It was a great game. I'm a massive Star Wars fan. But EverQuest was out around the same time as Star Wars Galaxies, which takes us back 25 years. And Star Wars Galaxies, as good as it was in terms of being an open world game, you only had a handful of planets. Star Wars The Old Republic, you have dozens of planets. You have so much more. It's fully voiced, better crafting. Like, it's, yeah, there's not more complex, better, streamlined, easier, more accessible. The crafting in Star Wars Galaxies was ridiculously complex. Fun, yes. Cool, yes. Good, not really, because it wasn't accessible to the average player. And if you look at the terms of population and everything, Star Wars Galaxies was never as popular as Star Wars The Old Republic. So for me, Lord of the Rings Online, Star Wars The Old Republic are pretty much my two favorite because I know the worlds. I know Lord of the Rings. I know Star Wars. So it's really easy for me to step into those worlds, go to a destination and say, I've been here in this movie, in this book. I've read it here. I've seen it on screen. I've seen it, whatever. There's a power fantasy involved with role playing a character in a world that you are intimately familiar with. So, yeah, Lord of the Rings Online and Star Wars: The Republic are for me two of my favorites. I still play them from time to time. Um, on Sundays, not right now, we're in the holidays, but usually on Sunday nights I play Lord of the Rings Online with my brother, my sister-in-law, and their two kids. My brother and I have played together for years. I got him the very first MMO he ever played was Lord of the Rings Online, which I got him into back I think around 2010. He would have been, I don't know, 14 or 15 years old at the time. And he and I started playing Lord of the Rings Online together because I'd been playing it since it launched. And then I got him into Star Wars: The Republic, which he then proceeded to spend thousands of dollars on in cosmetics while he was in college because he has no self-control. And my brother still, to this day, we were showing off. He hadn't played in a couple of years since Broadsword took over, and he sends me this WhatsApp message a couple weeks back while we were streaming. I shared it with everybody when we were streaming. And he was like, "Oh my god, I didn't know they had made all these awesome changes to Star Wars: The Republic. I hadn't played it in a couple years." And he has been hook, line, and sinker in Star Wars: The Republic the past about 6 weeks, maybe. He finished his bounty hunter finally. He started a Jedi, the Sage, I think is what they're called. And he's going through that storyline. And then yesterday he sends me a text message and said, "Dude, I've never played The Witcher 3. It was on sale for like $3 on Steam." So he's about to start his Witcher 3 journey for the first time, which is awesome. Flying Turtle says, "Curious if you saw Sven's statement that Larian's team wasn't excited about D&D anymore and had combat ideas that weren't compatible with D&D. Curious how BG3's lessons will impact the future." Let me spin back around to that here in a minute, Flying Turtle. But thank you for the super chat. That's a great conversation point. Anyway, apart from that, I really do. Right now, I'm playing Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76. I quite enjoy both of those. I am overburdened. EverQuest 2. EverQuest 1 I played for 7 years, have fond memories of, but EverQuest 2 was a better game for me, so I played about 7 years of EverQuest 2 as well, and I much enjoyed EverQuest 2 more than EverQuest 1 because it had better character models, fully voiced, we got instance dungeons. I read a #1 worldwide raid guild in EverQuest 2 and through Vanguard Saga of Heroes back in the day. Had a lot of fun in those games. Don't ever want to go back to those days. Thankfully, the game market has moved on in exciting new ways. But very fond memories of EverQuest 2. World of Warcraft, of course. Didn't play it when it came out, but I did play when Classic launched. I played through the first 3 Burning Crusade and Rich King Classic adventures, and then I also led a guild through those. Those videos are up on YouTube somewhere. Of us raiding in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. And then I went and tried retail 2 years ago. I had never really played retail, and we started a guild, and it's all on YouTube, all those playlists. We started when what the hell was the name of the most recent expansion, or the expansion block? The World Soul Saga. When the World Soul Saga was announced, I decided to go do World of Warcraft retail for the first time. We started in Dragonflight. We made a guild. We went through. We did all of Dragonflight, all the raids, went through all the seasonal content. War Within dropped. We played War Within all the way through, did all the raids, killed the queen, and then I was like, I saw, I conquered. I'd have no desire to play MMOs anymore with other people. And that was the last time I've done any MMOs. And I've been fully focused on single player content since then on my channel. Because I don't have the energy to deal with other people and deal with the headaches of people management and everything else. I'm semi-retired, so I'm very content to just be me, myself, and I, and my wife, and that's it. But yes, I have played many MMOs over the years. I was even in the Stargate MMO alpha back in the day. Got to log in and play around, and it was great until the financials fiasco that took it down. Um, so yeah, I have been around the
Our
block a
shield
little bit,
speaks, workers.
and I've played lots of MMOs. But yeah, those would be my favorites. Two-hander. Let's start giving some stuff. Can I cycle by weight? Let's give a bunch of this shit over to. I think there's a way to mark everything. Flying Turtle says, I've never... Oh, yeah, I need to circle back around and answer your question, too. So, anyway, let me timestamp this. That was... Somebody asked, I think it was the question was, what was my favorite MMO? I gotta scroll up. Yeah, Sleazy. Star Wars: The Republic is super fun. We actually have been playing a little bit over the past month. I was getting a controller working through Steam so that I could play it on the controller, and I've played a couple of sessions. I really do want to get caught up on the most current content in Star Wars: The Republic because Broadsword just did their end of the year announcement. They're going to be wrapping up the Legacy of the Sith storyline in the new year and moving on to the next. I'm like, oh, I haven't played the last like 18 months of story. I need to jump in and, it's like 20 hours of content. So it'd be pretty easy for me to jump in and spend a couple of weeks and take my main character, my Jedi Guardian, up through all the current content and just get him ready to go, you know. Do I know Star Wars? Is water wet? Okay, yeah, the question was favorite MMO. Which I know we've answered a few times over the years, but this will be a good video to spin out. And then I need to get to Flying Turtle's question. But give me a second here. I need to do some inventory management, otherwise I will forget. And then we'll circle back around. How can I toggle multi-select? And then what? Select, 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 select. Jesus, we need to find a merchant. And then how do you send to the Red Prince? Perfect. Is he using a shield? He is. Wooden targe. Well, I got you a better shield, sir. And a better sword, I think. Yeah, this right here. Magister Karen's shield. Oh, that's way better! Alright, something in here has got to be better than what I'm using. Hang on, what is this? This is 4 to 5 physical knife on a stick. Jesus, yeah, we got to change that. That's a two-hander though. Dagger, dagger. Do I not have a sword? Two to 3 piercing, 7-8 physical. I mean, for the moment, I don't have a sword, so set bleeding, set silence. I prefer bleeding, so let's use this dagger. Wait, can I not use a dagger? Oh, it requires finesse 11. Fuck! Alright, maybe I'm stuck with this knife on a stick. Well, I can use this one. That's a little bit better than the other one. Burlack says I'll be doing 3 to 4 playthroughs of Outer Worlds 2 eventually. Correct. Same with me. John Kuhn says I'm on the fence about Outer Worlds 3. Heard it's great, but it's half the exploration of about. I don't think that's the case at all. I got equal playthroughs of both of those games. Thanks for the raid over on Twitch, Patty Peach. All right, we're getting to let me timestamp this because Turtle had a super chat question, which is a good question. Let's call this 44 minutes. Larian statements. We'll come up with a title for it later. So Flying Turtle asks, Morning Ren, curious if you saw Sven's statements that Larian's team wasn't excited about D&D anymore and had combat ideas that weren't compatible with D&D. I'm curious how BG3's lessons will impact the future. So I think the easiest way to look at that is the same way every time someone has ever asked Daniel Craig, hey, are you excited to do another Baldur's Gate, or are you excited to do another James Bond movie, right when he's doing press for the one that he just finished and has just come out, and he's always like, I would rather, give birth. He's like, and James Cameron, actually, someone just asked him, are you excited for the next Avatar? And he's like, I'm literally doing press for something that I just spent the last several years of my life on. The last thing I want to do right now. He's like, that's like asking a woman who's giving birth, are you ready to have another one? Like, I think that when people see comments like that from a team, they might assume that that means that the team didn't like working on D&D. And I think we've seen that that's actually the furthest thing from the truth, because the entire Larian Studios team, through the entire Baldur's Gate 3 development cycle, talked about how it was a dream come true. They were the ones who pursued the partnership with Wizards of the Coast. They loved working on Baldur's Gate 3, but it was also something that consumed their lives for like 6 years. And when something consumes your life from a creative perspective, the last thing you want to do is immediately turn around and do more of that. Sometimes it's more fulfilling creatively to work on something completely different. I think the idea of them having combat ideas that weren't compatible with D&D, you have to understand that with Forgotten Realms in particular, you're working within someone else's universe. So you're working within someone else's rule set. There are things that you can't do because you're working with someone else's rule set. There are combat rules that you can't breach because you're working within someone else's rule set. There's spells that you have to be adherent to, spell rules. There's the rule set itself. Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, which they were using at the time, is a completely different rule set than to what they have with Original Sin 1 and Original Sin 2. And when you are a creative team and you're wanting to expand your creative wings and go, here's the thing. We were this small company that built up a reputation over time. Then we built Baldur's Gate 3. We had access to more money. We were able to do cool things with that money. And then that game went and blew up. And now Larian has big boy money. And they went, well, shit. We can finally build a Divinity game in the way that we want to without being constrained by a small Kickstarter budget. Now we have enough money to fund the entire thing from start to finish and do it in a way that allows us to have the absolute maximum amount of creativity possible, and also have this massive reputation where people are going to immediately and instantly buy all of our early access stuff and give us an infinite amount of funding. So we have this opportunity to build this massive game with the next Divinity game. Had I been in Sven's shoes, I would have said the exact same thing and be like, you know what? Working with Wizards of the Coast was a great experience, but the team's already been there, seen that, done that. We conquered that mountain. We worked with Wizards of the Coast. We did the D&D thing. It was great. We're not excited about it anymore. We just, James Bond, Avatar, we just finished. Like, we're going to go off and do something else now. And maybe, in 10 years, we circle back around and we'll be excited about it again. But right now, we've got these ideas percolating that don't work within this 5th edition rule set. And they're things that we want to do creatively, which we can't do when we're working within someone else's IP. Because we can't just go off the book and do whatever we want when it's an IP that Wizards of the Coast controls. Like, that's a consideration for sure. That was a super chat question. Thank you very much for that. I think there was a follow-up to that too if I scroll down through chat here. What's up, Thandar? Good morning, good morning. I know there was a follow-up. Where's it at? Oh, there it is. I just never don't... There might have been a typo though. Never done. Oh, never done. I've never done game dev and was curious how having a team constraint from a known IP can impact game development. I'm excited to see Larian with big bucks doing their own thing. I don't think there's a restraint. It's I can say this is because in my early years as a writer, I was doing a lot of work for other clients. And one of the biggest projects I did, there was a guy who worked in uh, private contracting and like oil in Dubai. This is back in like 2009, maybe 2010. And he brought me on to write a show Bible, essentially, a series Bible for an MMO. And that project was basically I had 7 or 8 different phone consultations with the guy, a couple of video calls where we were going over all of the things, and I'm taking copious amounts of notes. And then he sent me like a 30-page document which had all of his world building that he'd already done, and it's his setting, it's his world, and everything else. And then he had me take that and write a short story that took all of those elements and put it into something that was a short story format that he could then take and then convert into a screenplay or whatever and use as something to fund a short film to use to pitch to investors. And so a part of that was also creating like a more concise show Bible using all of his notes. It was like a 6-month project where all I did was work on someone else's world, taking their notes, refining all the ideas. I wrote a short story. That short story is actually, I'm going to plug my own shit really quick. I have a sci-fi and fantasy anthology that I wrote years ago, back in like 2018 maybe, called Bloody Knuckles. It's over on Amazon. You can get it. And that short story is actually in that anthology for anybody who might be interested. I didn't find that to be constraining at all. It was just I'm working with someone else's stuff. So it's like anytime I came up with a creative thing, it was like I had to get on the phone and call and be like, hey, what do you think about this? That's the only really limitation there is when you're working with someone else's IP. Whereas when you're working on your own IP, you don't have to have that phone call, which means it's quicker to iterate and get something from idea stage to implementation stage because you're not having to like get on the phone and confirm and make sure that the idea is good, and maybe the client wants to have a back and forth, and they might have some ideas that they hadn't thought of when you give them your idea. They might tell you that they don't like your idea and that they want you to just shelve that, and you go, okay. And if that happens, you take that and you put it in a different notebook and you save that, because when you're done with that project, you can circle back around and pull that idea out of your notebook and use it to create something else that you can do that's completely independent of that project. So I don't think from my perspective it's constraining. It's just there's a little bit of extra time being involved because you're consulting with someone else. Now if you're being compensated for that time, who gives a shit? Like, you're on the clock, right? But yeah, I don't think it would be constraining. But some people might have different opinions. There are some people who don't want to be constrained creatively, and they don't, I would also say I've never spent 6 years working on someone else's IP, so I can't speak to what that's like. I think the biggest time I worked on someone else's IP was that project, which was 6 months. I can't speak to that. Maybe there is an aspect of spending 6 years working on someone else's IP that maybe feels a little tiring at that point. And it's like, you know what? We've done 6 years. It's time to branch off and do our own thing. So I think that that's legitimately a viewpoint to take. Oh, I didn't realize there was an archer in there. Is that a dog shooting at me? Hold up. Oh my god, that dog has a crossbow on its back. Anyway, let me scroll through and make sure we didn't have any other parts of that conversation that left on the floor. Larian unplugged, pretty much, yes. Bandar says they loved the process and the product, but knew they needed something fresh to not burn out. Correct. Like I said, that's every time they interviewed Daniel Craig right after finishing the most recent James Bond film, he was like, ugh. Talk to me in 2 years. Right now, the last thing I want to do is talk about another James Bond film. I'm like, creatively, that's all I've worked on for the past 3 years. I want to go do other indie films. I want to go do theater projects. I want to do something else creatively. I don't want to always only ever be doing James Bond, Do, 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 do. Fever dream, but I'd love to see Larian do a turn-based Fallout. Universal concept with Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and it's like, yeah. If you're working with someone else's IP, there's always going to be a show Bible you have to adhere to, and someone else you have to talk to that you have to confirm ideas with. Anyway, hopefully that answered your question, Flying Turtle. Thank you for the super chat. Yes, we are live on YouTube, Twitch, Kick, and TikTok to answer that question. Vertical on TikTok, horizontal everywhere else. Just like we are every day. This is the day job. I play a lot of games. And someone just said, stop talking and play the game. Fuck off. We do lots of talking on my channel. If you don't like it, you don't have to tune in. No one is holding a pew-pew to your head and making you watch my streams. I have seen Cowboys and Aliens. It's a great movie. We start every day at about 4 a.m. Central. However, we are in the holidays right now. So the schedule is a little bit different because we are in the holidays. We will be back to the normal schedule on January 5th. So right now I'm kind of only streaming Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and at completely abnormal schedules because I'm taking time off for the first time in 4 years. And I need to get another cup of coffee because we're an hour in and I've only had one. You don't have enough AP to attack him, but you can get over there. I have played Kingdom Come Deliverance 1 and 2. Yep. Playlists on YouTube. I've also played, someone else asked about Mass Effect and Dragon Age. Played all the Dragon Age. I played every BioWare game that's ever been existed. All those playlists are on YouTube. Check them out. Yeah, you're welcome, Flying Turtle. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate the support. Yes, this is my first playthrough.
Right where I want you.
I wonder why these dogs are attacking me now. They didn't attack me earlier because I was able to rescue that other puppy from him, and now all of a sudden they're attacking me when I came back in here. A doggy dart. I just saw the name of the weapon. He used a doggy dart. Oh, that is hilarious. Well, I didn't want to kill puppies, but he made me. Can I even... Do they have anything to loot? An eyeball.
Did you expect a needle?
I did, actually. Damn it. Alright, let's do a rest. Dun, 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 dun. Thanos said Dragon Age is amazing. I couldn't believe it when I heard devs talk about Origins was originally going to be a standalone game. I think many games are meant to be standalone games, and then if they're successful, they can become more than that. For sure. All right. I think we're done here. I don't think there's anything else. We've cleared the upper floor. We've cleared the basement. I think we can go back to the swamp. And I'm going to go get another cup of coffee as soon as we get out to the swamp, because I am thirsty. I can't do anything with these monks. Veilguard was a phenomenal game. I actually think that Veilguard is my personal favorite in the entire Dragon Age series. Loved the voiceovers. We had some extremely talented cast members. The animations were fucking fire. I loved the art style. The combat was super fun. I mean, I have fond memories of Dragon Age Origins, and I played it like 6 times through, but it's dated as fuck. Like, great game, but not the best in the series, in my opinion. Inquisition, way too, like... Inquisition was a good game, but it's yeah, if I had to order them, I would go Dragon Age Veilguard, Origins, Dragon Age 2, and Inquisition is at the bottom of my list. I'm actually not a huge Inquisition fan. Thanar says, what game has written a mad mentally character arc? The best? Wow, that's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. Alright, we have a big old swamp to explore. Yeah, when it first came out, I played like 3 or 4 times within the first like 2 months. But we also that was a time, that was a different time. There were not all these other games coming out, right? We didn't have Netflix and Hulu and HBO Plus, Paramount Plus, and all these different shows to watch, games to play. We didn't have like GOG, Steam, Epic, all these different platforms taking our attention. Like, it was much easier to just play a single game back in the day. I will pick this stuff up, I guess. Snapper, herring. Ooh. Threads of a curse. Dude, there's a skeletal arm poking up out of the sand, and it was like waving at me. And it's a quest that just popped up. I wonder if it's Gale's hand. If you know, you know. Twisted Rush over on Twitch says, can't stay for long. I've been seeing your YouTube shorts pop up a lot lately. Love your talks about role-playing RPGs. Look forward to watching more of your streams. Welcome aboard. In what ways is Veilguard better? I've got lots of videos over on YouTube that you can go watch, which will talk about just that. A lot of people don't understand how game dev works, so here's the short version. games built in 2025 are better than games built in 2024, which are better than games built in 2023, which are better than games built in 2020, which are better than games built in 1995, which are better than games built in 1960. The reason being, the technology gets better, the engines get better, we get better graphics, we get better voiceovers, we get better visual effects, we get better combat, we get more quality of life features, we get better solid state drives, we get better graphics cards, we get better memory, we get better load times, we get better everything. We get more open world games, we get more things that we can do in games because the programming has gotten more technologically advanced. We can do VR, we can do all of these things that we couldn't do 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. Games are always getting better. End of story, full stop. That's how that works. So when someone says, how is it possible that you can call Dragon Age Veilguard better than Dragon Age Origins? Because it was a better game, full stop, from a technical perspective. Now, do you want to talk story? Story is a little bit different. Story is personal. Story is subjective. Technical aspects are not subjective. Technical aspects are absolute fact. You can't deny science unless you're mentally challenged. Then you can deny science, because there are lots of people out there who are science deniers and anti-vaxxers and all this other stuff. I know, right, JK? There's people out there like, but Pong is the best game that was ever created. All right, before we talk to this skeleton hand, I'm going to go get another cup of coffee. But that is a great conversation point, by the way. Go over to YouTube. I've got 2 full playthroughs of the Veilguard from last year. And I will happily do a third at some point down the road, because I never played the Warrior through that game. And I want to do a Grey Warden Warrior. 105 short. All right, give me 2 seconds here, and we'll be right back.